Everybody, Beth Johnston, your residential realtor, and I'm here with Roy Parker with Paint It Right. And you know, when it comes to buying and selling a home, you know that us realtors can do a really great job in helping you. I like to continue that relationship because owning your home is one of the most important investments that people have, and I want to help them take care of it. I want them to love their home and get the most from their home. And one of the things that I'm finding is getting overlooked is painting. And I have to admit, I go to the store, if I'm doing it myself, I get a can of paint. I don't even bother reading the back of the can. I just like the color, and when I have time, I just start painting walls. But I'm hearing, because you're teaching me a lot, Roy, about what's right about painting, that there's a lot more to it. So will you share with us
Sure.
what we should be thinking about?
Absolutely. Well, Beth's exactly right. Too many people try to save money and they just start painting, and then they start running into headaches. And you'd be amazed at how many people call us, in particular wives, that will call and say, I need you to save our marriage. And I go, save your marriage? Yeah, if you don't come over here and finish this painting, my husband and I are going to kill each other.
Oh, no.
So the single biggest complaint, I've been doing this for 42 years, and the single biggest thing that bother people about inside painting is dust.
Oh.
People are fixing cracks, holes, whether your house is 10 years old or 110 years old. You get cracks, stress cracks, things like that. The further west you live, going closer to Louisa, you get cracks that happen because of the earthquake in Louisa.
Right.
And people don't fix the cracks properly, so they come back sometimes even within weeks after you've had the work done. And then whether they do it right or not, they put drywall mud on there, they sand it, and that dust can travel throughout the house. If it was an upstairs hallway, down the steps and into other
Wow,
areas.
I wouldn't have even thought about that.
So that is the number one concern. The second biggest concern is splatter on things. Mm-hmm. And so we spend a lot of time moving everything, moving all the furniture. We take pictures of exactly where everything was,
okay,
so that when we finish painting, we can put it back in the same spots. We wrap everything in plastic, then put drop cloths over there to keep dust from the smell of dust even from getting into couches, fabrics,
wow,
drapes, bedding, especially bedding. We really wrap that real tight to keep dust and stuff from getting in there.
That's really impressive. I have to admit, I barely use a drop cloth.
Well, and when you're doing it for yourself, for your own house, that's a viable option. But when somebody's paying us to do it,
yes,
protecting their house better than we protect our own house is super important.
Yep, absolutely.
And that's a big difference. You know, you and I have talked before where it's really hard to compare apples with painting estimates. And so somebody can come in and be half the price that we are, not because they're less expensive or we're too expensive, it's because we're going to be doing twice as much work to protect the house before we ever open that can of paint, whether that means putting up these zip wall poles so we can completely enclose an area where we're fixing a plaster ceiling, for instance.
Okay.
To just taking furniture out of the room and then carefully putting it back where it started.
Okay, and you're touching on some things that are also helpful to know is that you're a whole solution.
Right.
You're not just painting, you are identifying things that need to be corrected, and you're correcting those, then you apply the paint, right?
Yeah, doors, we've got 3 full-time carpenters on staff, so maybe doors are sticking, or they want to put chair rail or crown molding in a room to class it up a little bit, and we can do any of that for them.
Oh, that's fantastic.
But it's important just to take care of things. Taking care of carpet. We had a lady one time that fell in love with their company because we were working, big house, we were working upstairs, down a hall, working in a bedroom. And she had a beautiful white carpet. She had us staging everything in the garage. We had drop cloths that went from the garage into the foyer, up the steps, down the hall. So the entire time we were working there, we were walking on our drop cloths, not on her rug. And she said, Roy, in all the years that we've been here and that we've had plumbers, electricians, all these different people working, nobody has ever taken care of a house this way. So I'm not saying you need to use us, but you need to use somebody. You need to ask people, what sort of care are you going to take? How are you going to fix these things? And what sort of care are you going to take of my furniture, of my carpet, of the things that I've been collecting all my life and are very important to me.
Right, and they are very important. Well, that's been a huge help. Thank you so much for taking a minute, letting me drop in on you today.
Thank you. And thank you for being Richmond's expert in real estate.
Thanks, Roy. I hope you found that helpful. Thanks so much. You guys have a great day.